Welcome to a special edition of the PODC Hill Report. We just got back from an intense few days on the ground for Police Week in Washington, D.C. While we were there, our cameras went straight into the halls of Congress to challenge lawmakers on the law enforcement bills moving to the floor right now. Because we sat down for some incredibly heavy, in-depth conversation with key leaders, including Senator Steve Daines, Congressman Tim Burchett, and Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, we are breaking our Capitol Hill coverage into a special two-part series. Today, in part one, we're laying out the immediate legislative battles and bringing you face-to-face with the representatives on the front lines. Let's cut straight to the Hill for part one.
And I'm here with Senator Steve Daines out of Montana. Thank you very much, sir, for seeing me today.
Glad to be here with you.
Yeah, just a few questions leading up to Police Week is, I know you're a big supporter of law enforcement. I can tell by all your challenge coins over there. But why do you support law enforcement so much?
I tell you what, it is the first line of defense we have in a nation that keeps us safe. It's the fundamentals of law and order. I lived overseas years ago in a country where you couldn't just dial 911 and get an immediate response from law enforcement. And for the first time, I realized what I'd taken for granted growing up in America. The men and women who get up every day and wear the badge, the weight of that badge, putting their lives on the line, is something that I don't think we can talk enough about. Grateful what they do to keep our nations and our communities safe.
Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. You know, the men and women in law enforcement really like to see the support that senators like yourself give. And with Police Week just 2 weeks away, what does Police Week mean to you?
I'll tell you, it means something different this year for the Daines family. Last year, I believe 111 members of law enforcement lost their lives in this country. On a more pleasant note, the Daines family is welcoming a new in-law, a member of the Montana State Highway Patrol.
Oh, congratulations.
She is a state trooper.
Oh, she's a state trooper.
Tierney,
congratulations.
Tierney Weinholtz of Great Falls, Montana, a native Montanan, born and raised in Great Falls. Our son started dating her. I asked him, how'd you guys meet? Did she pull you over? He says, no, Dad. I invited her to be a plus one at a wedding, and one thing led to another, and they'll be getting married in August in Montana. But as we've gotten to know Tierney, we love her dearly, bring her into our family. Our conversations now revolve around what was work like this week, what happened this past week. The stories we hear from her give me a whole new appreciation for what law enforcement does for us, literally laying her life on the line in very difficult and sometimes life-threatening situations. So when I think about this week, it's a little different now. It becomes a lot more personal because God willing, she'll be the mother of some new grandchildren in the Daines family. They want to start having a family, and I'm just grateful for what she does and what the members of law enforcement do for our country.
You got to add to the grandchildren. Do you have 7 grandchildren right now?
We do have 7 grandchildren. And
odd number. You got to make that even.
God willing, we'll take that and more.
Well, my final question is: you co-sponsored the POP Mail Act, which is basically dealing with fentanyl in the mail for prisons. Why is that so important?
Well, first of all, what a scourge fentanyl is to our nation. It's been the leading cause of death for 18 to 45-year-olds. The risk it presents to members of law enforcement when they come upon a scene, whether they're apprehending a criminal or defending life. If they're exposed, of course, they got to carry Narcan because our members of law enforcement are exposed now to fentanyl, which, the tiniest amounts here are fatal. You don't die of an overdose of fentanyl. You die to a slight exposure to it. By stopping it going into our prisons, what it is significant in terms of protecting, first of all, the men and women who are keeping law and order within our prison systems. But it's about making those systems safer and protecting the lives of members of law enforcement. We have fought in many cases for legislation for members of law enforcement. I think about a result that we got here a few years ago where we were fighting on behalf of a member of law enforcement in Billings, Montana. He was injured as a motorcycle cop, and we found out that sadly you're almost better off if the member of law enforcement dies in terms of the benefits received.
Correct.
Versus being disabled for the rest of their lives and being the caretaker. We changed that. We got a law passed.
That's awesome.
And it was something, it was a very personal story we had in Montana, taking care of the families of those members of law enforcement then, where the families have to be caretakers now for the rest of their lives because they've been severely injured.
Well, that is something. And I really appreciate your time, and I understand you're retiring.
Well, I'm repurposing. How's that? But I'm bringing 14 years of service in the United States Congress to an end. I served 2 years in the House. It'll be 12 years in the U.S. Senate. My father was a Marine. It's been Semper Fi to my papa as well. But it's been one of the greatest experiences of my life to serve. And now maybe a little more time with grandkids, a little more time with a hunting rifle, and perhaps some fishing too.
I don't blame you there.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your time. Enjoy your retirement. And thank you very much for all you do.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Congresswoman Virginia Foxx from North Carolina. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you for being here.
Well, you are a great supporter of law enforcement, and that's why we're here. We got Police Week coming up. Why are you such a supporter for law enforcement?
Well, I'm a big believer in civil society. I'm a big believer in our form of government. We have a republic, a constitutional republic, and for us to maintain order in our country, we have to have people who will help us maintain order, and the police help us do that. We need police forces in all of our communities. We need an army. We need people who will be willing to protect our rights as citizens and to protect us from each other.
You are correct, and thank you very much for that. And with Police Week, like 2 weeks away, what does Police Week mean to you as far as a representative and just a citizen of the United States?
Well, I will tell you, anytime I see anybody in uniform, I go up and say thank you to them.
Thank you.
And if you talk to the Capitol Police, they will affirm that, because I thank them all the time for what they do. But if I'm in an airport, if I'm on a street, anybody in a uniform, military or police, I always say thank you for doing what you do. Now, everybody should do that every day, every time they see somebody in uniform. What Police Week does is remind people that they should do that. I don't need a reminder to do it. I do it all the time. But other people might need reminders. And so having Police Week helps people be reminded of what they should be doing every day, every time they see someone in uniform. Those people are risking their lives for the rest of us, and we should be very grateful to them.
Thank you very much. You are correct, and we really appreciate, the law enforcement community appreciates what you're doing for us. And my last question is dealing with qualified immunity. I've been working for the past 3 years, with now Senator Banks, and you took over the torch for qualified immunity. Why is that so important to you to get passed?
Well, we had several years ago a very ill-informed effort to defund the police. And so I take just the opposite position. Again, we have people out there working to protect our lives, to preserve our Constitution, to preserve law and order. And rather than make victims of them, we need to protect them while they are doing their jobs. So the Supreme Court has ruled in several cases that we have qualified immunity. However, it's never been codified. It's never been put into law. And so I'm a huge fan of Senator Banks. We're great friends. He was on the Education and Workforce Committee when I was on the committee and when I chaired the committee. And so when he did go to the Senate, I saw the opportunity to pick up his torch and introduce that bill.
Oh, that is awesome. And really, thank you very much for your time. I know you have to get going to get back out on the floor, but thank you for supporting law enforcement. You're a true supporter, and we can't wait to work with you on other issues. But thank you very much, and have a great day. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and let's get the word spread. You can help us with your colleagues who are policemen and in serving. They can help educate other members so that we can get more people on the bill and get it passed.
Well, I think working together, we'll get it done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We have a special guest with us today, Congressman Troy Nehls. How are you, sir?
Bert, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Outstanding. Great state of Texas. Thank you for your service, military and law enforcement, before getting into Congress. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
The reason why we're coming to talk with you, I really want to get your point of view on why you support law enforcement coming up with Police Week. Where do you stand with your support, which we all know that you support of?
Sure, it was an honor and a privilege to spend really my entire adult life in law enforcement. It started with my father way back when. He returned from Korea, recipient of the Distinguished Service Cross, and he was sitting in this bar, and a county commissioner was in there and said, "Ed, what are you going to do now that the war's you're back from the war?" He said, "Well, I don't know." He said, "Well, why don't you come on over and work for the Dodge County Sheriff's Office?" And my dad did. He became a patrolman and then eventually rose up through the ranks and became the sheriff in Dodge County, Wisconsin. So I can remember the numerous days. We'd spent a lot of time at the county jail and around Huber prisoners, and I had a big family. An older brother, Todd, I consider my mentor. He then became the sheriff of Dodge County after he was hired as a deputy. I moved to Texas about 30 years ago, worked at the Dodge County Sheriff's Office, or the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office, became the sheriff there in 2012. And then I have a twin brother that was an elected constable. So the three of us followed my father's footsteps, not only in law enforcement, but in the military as well. So it's in our blood, it's in our DNA. It's been an honor. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, "Would you start all over again?" I said, I don't know. I think the temperature in the water is a little hot right now. Law enforcement doesn't receive the love and respect that it should from the the people they are there to protect and serve. If you go outside my office here and you look at that wall with all the officers that have been killed since I've been up here, it's tragic. The assaults are up. Everybody knows it. So it was an honor and a privilege to serve, but it's a different time today than it was when I started over 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's a long time. 30 years in law enforcement. With Police Week coming up, what does Police Week mean to you, and in the week coming for the whole Police Week? What does that mean to you?
I know what it means to me. It's time to get out there and think about the men and women that are out there, serving their communities at the local, state, federal level. You have to appreciate them all. If we don't have law and order, you have chaos, and we know what that is. We've seen chaos across our cities, over the past several years, and so you got to have the law enforcement to protect those people from the criminal element. And I guess National Police Week is a week for us to kind of remind the American people and everybody that, those men and women in blue or brown that are patrolling around, they're there to help you and assist you. And I'm sure when they need some support or they need some assistance, calling 911, they should be able to have the faith and confidence to know that somebody's going to show up. Doesn't matter what color you are. I don't want to hear about any of that they're going to show up and they're going to do everything they can to help that person. So it's all about just honoring our men and women that are serving each and every day. You're not getting rich over this.
That is true.
You're not getting rich. Oh, gosh. I remember I was hiring people, and they'd start out at about $50,000 a year. Now, that's tough. You ain't living in a home. You're probably in an apartment, having a tough time even making the car payment.
Yep.
So we don't get into this. Men and women that have chose law enforcement, we're not getting into this to get rich and live in the big house behind a nice fence and gate and everything. We do it because we have a civil servant's heart. It's all about public service. It's selfless service, not selfish service.
I think that's a very good point. Yep, I agree wholeheartedly. And my last question for you is, you have a bill, H.R. 309, the National Law Enforcement Remembrance Support a community outreach act. I know we have close to 124 co-sponsors. It's bipartisan. Where do you think we can get that over the hump this year?
Well, I would certainly hope so. It's in front of the Natural Resource Committee. I went to the committee maybe 6 months ago and testified on that legislation. Now what we have to do up here is get it to a committee markup. Now, there are some people up here, there are some members, right or wrong, I don't know that, they don't like any type of federal grant fund. They don't like grant funding for law enforcement and this type of project, which I do not agree with. I mean, we're talking about $4 or $5 million over the next several years. I mean, each and every year, but it would be good money spent. We come up here and we waste a lot of money. We throw money at things, whether it's Ukraine or something, and we don't see any reward, any benefit from it. This money here would actually go to recognize and help law enforcement across the entire country, and it's the right thing to do. So I'm going to champion this thing. I'm going to fight like hell to make this thing happen, and we won't stop. We just won't stop. It's the right thing to do. It would be nice if we could just get people up here to start doing the right thing, because it's the right thing to do.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. And, I appreciate everything you're doing. And we're going to keep championing it for you, even after I understand you're retiring after this session. And we're going to keep moving forward. I understand your brother is going to be taking your place.
That's right. My twin brother, Trevor, old law enforcement officer for almost 30 years as well, and time in the military. So he and I, we have a lot in common. We live next to each other, and we both love President Trump and this administration. So he's all about backing the men and women in blue, and you're not going to see a whole lot of difference between he and I. He bleeds the blue, and he loves law enforcement. So I just appreciate you coming out here today.
And thank you.
And we just have to remind the people in this great country of ours, and people that are watching this, that the men and women that are out there, they just want to serve. They want to protect and serve. They're doing it because they have a servant's heart. I mean, you're out there, you're risking your lives each and every day.
Yeah, they're patriots.
And they're patriots. And my gosh, you see one, just go up and shake their hand, or you see him at Dunkin' Donuts, they go donut cops, you know what I'm talking about, but you see him at a donut store, whatever, go buy him a cup of coffee, for criminy sakes. Just do something and let them know, because you'd be surprised how, just even if it's not a cup of coffee, it's just going up and say, thank you for your service. I appreciate what you do each and every day. I know it's a tough job. What that would mean to that man or woman, that officer, it just simple things to show your support, your love, and your gratitude for officers. I mean, it's the right thing to do.
I agree with you. I mean, when I was working on the street and people would come and say thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that you get more satisfaction out of that, knowing that you're protecting, and people are like, hey, thank you. And that's all it takes. And
that's all it is.
I really appreciate your time today. I know you're very busy and you got a lot of stuff going on, but like I said, we're going to champion this bill. There should be no reason why this shouldn't be passed.
None. I want to thank you for your service as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing everybody up here.
That's the big thing. I don't know, you put it out to the people who come visit you during police week, but I believe they're doing the tent city again this year. And that's where all the law enforcement from all over the United States or world, that's where everybody hangs out and has a good time afterwards.
We'll spend some time at the memorial too, the big law enforcement memorial. And
they got the Unity ride. I think that's coming in on the 11th or 10th is when they ride that in.
It's a great week. I'm all smiles. I'm all smiles.
Yeah. It's about remembering
Yes, sir.
Remembering your fallen comrades.
Yes, sir.
And that's what it's about.
Anyway.
So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck in your retirement.
Thank you so much.
And we'll look forward to working with your brother. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mark.
As you saw today, the momentum is shifting, but we are nowhere near done. We captured so much critical footage on the ground last week that we are dropping part 2 of this special congressional series in our very next episode, where we dive even deeper into the policy battles with the lawmakers themselves. If you don't want to miss the drop, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and share this broadcast. Reporting on the issues that matter to your community. We'll see you right back here for part 2. I'm Bert Eyler. This is the PODC Hill Report, where we bring the Hill to you. Until next time, God bless.